This is a Little Empire podcast. Visit us at littleempirepodcast.com and on Twitter at Little Empire Pod.
You gonna play that dastardly intro again?
Ow! This movie's still fine.
Coley pasta.
One of the guys, that guy's Squirrell. One of them's a hottie. His name is Jay. One of them looks like Johnny Depp, and his name is Johnny Depp.
Classic Maximum Joseph.
You forget that films are supposed to have a point.
Hello and welcome to the worst idea of all time, a trans-Tasman experiment in film consumption, consisting of hosts, myself, Tim Batt,
And
recorded
also,
live from Auckland.
Also myself, Guy Montgomery, recording live from Margaret River, West Australia.
And what's the alternative, really, apart from recording live? Recording dead? I don't think so. What a redundant thing to say.
That's exactly right, Tim. The podcast wouldn't exist if either of us expired. Unlike our brother or sister podcast, Till Death Do Us Part, which will surely outlive us all.
Boy, do I miss those boys. I can't wait to hear from them real soon. Thanksgiving can't come soon enough. But enough of that. Guy, how are you? You've just watched the movie, as have I. I've just gotten to the end of it.
Yeah, man. Watched it for the 44th time. And I got to say,
Woo!
as expected, it took 44 watches for this movie to really... No, it's still not that good, Tim.
Nah, I was into it. I was all about it this week.
Oh, pull the other one. It's got bells on.
Mate, I am yanking nothing. This is a good movie.
You sound like you're yanking my chain, is what it sounds like you're doing.
Nah, not at all. This movie's got it all. It's got pretty women, pumping soundtracks, pretty boys, up to mischief. It's got drug use. It's got fun. It's got colors. It's got Los Angeles scapes, cityscapes, non-cityscapes, valleyscapes, all the scapes.
So interested to hear how long over the course of this conversation you can keep up this enthusiasm for We Are Your Friends. What specifically, Tim, really got you this week?
It's just the collection of friends hanging out, having a bloody good time in the sunshine. You know what I'm saying?
This all just seems so unlikely to me.
Even that bit where they're at the ravine. Do we call it a ravine? Right at the top, when they're collecting their pay stubs, which have been shortchanged by the shifty man who lives inside a club.
Is that a ravine? That looks more like a plateau to me. Isn't a ravine like you're surrounded on either side by cliff?
Yeah,
basis?
like a dried up riverbed, isn't it?
Something like that.
So it's kind of like they're over the top of a ravine. They're looking down into it.
They're just maybe on a hill, on an arid hill overlooking the valley.
Yep. That's another possibility for sure. But just from where to go, you're seeing a lot of things. You're at a lot of parties in this movie. I think the light touch to LSD is a strange note by the writer, but you know what? I'm all for artist integrity, and if that's the direction they want to take this, they've done it anyway, so you may as well get on board. Know what I'm saying? That's my attitude this week, Guy. You're going to watch the movie anyway, so you may as well just enjoy it. Just decide. Just make a choice to like it, you know?
Look, I mean, it's what you have achieved. If this is not a put-on, and in fact your genuine sentiment towards the film, is nothing short of like a mentalist trick. Like it's for you to have the force of willpower to enjoy a film in spite of 43 previous screenings. You enjoyed it once before, so 42 previous screenings where you couldn't get on board. I mean, what you have done is it's a triumph. In the course of the podcast, neither of us have ever pulled any such achievement off. For you to do a 100,
Well, here we are.
a 180-degree turn and suddenly be on board with Maximum Joseph's magnum opus, I'm happy
It's a
for you.
huge day for the boys. Huge day for the boys. I feel like you're putting like so much pressure on it that I'm actually quite nervous about staking this claim in the ground now. To be quite honest.
No. Not at all, my friend. I'm happy for you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, that's good. That's
Happy,
bloody
do you know
good.
what my father would say? He'd say, happy as a pig dans le fissoir, which was his very awful approximation of
shit?
French. Yeah, to say happy as a pig in shit.
How did you find the movie this week, Guy? If you weren't quite at my level of appreciation for it.
No. Well, it's a dastardly little time difference between West Australia and Aotearoa, and so what it meant was, as I've discussed before, I'm sure we've both had this experience. It's just not a good. It's not a good reason to get out of bed. It's not a good way to wake up.
No, you got that right.
So what I did is I 15 minutes prior, I went out for a small walk through the beautiful township of Margaret River. Hugh Jackman's favourite place in the world, by the way, if you're curious.
Fuck off. Let me stop you there. How do you know? Do they celebrate that everywhere? Is that on every plaque in a cafe?
Man, you cannot move in this town for people telling you how much Hugh Jackman loves it here. Do you see what Hugh Jackman was on about? Have you walked around and been like, yep, Hugh
this
Jackman,
is definitely Wolverine territory?
By all accounts, Hugh Jackman enjoys Margaret River for the surf, the people, the wine, and most importantly, the air.
The air?
Yeah, he loves the air down here.
Seems quite abstract. Is it just the right amount of oxygen for an adamantium frame?
I got to tell you, I feel like the chemical makeup of the air is, it's pretty similar to other air I've experienced.
You're from Christchurch, Guy. You were privy in your young childhood to some of the cleanest air around. Well, except for in winter, then it gets very smoggy because there's no wind and everyone's got those log burners out. Gives a lot of kids asthma, myself included.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Tim.
It's okay. I got over it as I got older, so no trouble, no harm, no foul. Christchurch.
Fair cop to you. No, I mean it's good. I've certainly been sucking in the big ones. I watched the movie. I'm staying in somewhere called the Derby Park Serviced Residences, and I opened up. I'm on the ground floor, so I've got a door that opens up into a beautiful bit of forest. So I was woken by kookaburras at 6:30 this morning, as I had hoped I would be.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it really feels like they're taunting you.
I know that's probably annoying at 6 a.m, but that's genuinely a lovely Australian way to wake yourself from your slumber, isn't it?
Oh, truly. And so I've just had I've got the mosquito screen up, but I've got the doors open. So I've been aerating the room with some of this crisp, world-renowned Margaret River air, and I can see what Hugh Jackman's talking about. To answer your question, yes.
Does it just feel higher quality, or does it smell of eucalyptus, or what?
It just feels right. There are friendly people here. Everyone's so relaxed. All of that is to say, it does not make for an improved screening of We Are Your Friends. I'll tell you that, my friend.
Can I ask you a very specific question right off the bat, or just start a little point of conversation with you about the movie? Now, when we've got our young heroes, Somali and Zakoli the Crying DJ, at the music festival in Las Vegas, Nevada, she asks Zakoli to put his tongue out, and she puts something on his tongue. Now, am I right to presume that that's probably LSD, right? That's how you take acid.
Yeah. Yes. However,
but then I feel like the experience that they have subsequent to that, where they're all lovey-dovey with each other, is a very like ecstasy kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit confused as to whether the the writer, maybe didn't quite know their, substances, or maybe I've been doing the wrong kind of acid. I don't know, but it just seems at odds.
I'll tell you this, Tim. I mean, this is a music festival in Las Vegas, Nevada, and these are characters. Certainly Zakoli and the boys, and Somali to a lesser extent, who are familiar with a wide variety of drugs. Certainly, probably a list longer than you or I could rattle off. And so it's entirely possible that while what appears to us to be a technique you'd more associate with the hallucinogen LSD, they could very well be putting away something a little, something a little straighter, a little less wobbly. Because I think you're right. I mean, I agree. It does not look like there. I mean, and this is a film that goes to great lengths to show us what a PCP trip looks like.
Well, that's right. Because I think maybe they've mixed up what PCP does as well. I've not experienced PCP before, and God willing I won't. Not a drug that's on my bucket list or anything. But from everything I gather about PCP, that doesn't seem to be how that shit goes down either. You go into a party and just have a real chill time and look at paintings for a bit.
No,
not what I've been led to believe PCP's all about.
I'm inclined to agree with you, Tim. I think that, and we've talked about it before, it paints a a very glamorous picture of the drug PCP.
It does. Glorifies it, if anything, and I'm not into that.
No, that's as the IMDb page will attest, the rotoscope scene that they do create for the PCP experience is one of the more critically acclaimed parts of the film, though.
Well, everyone loves a nice little bit of fun and silliness, don't they? It's like that bit in, is it the first Anchorman movie where they ride unicorns during the sex scene with Christina Applegate?
I think it might be the first one.
And Will Ferrell? Will Ferrell. Ferrelli.
Can I tell you this, Tim? Early on in the film today, I got very excited. I saw a new opportunity for a gag the film didn't take, but one that I enjoyed anyway. So you know when Jarhead's working the door outside Social, the club.
Yes.
And that guy comes along and he's trying to weasel his way in. He says, "I'm friends with your friend Ollie, you know, the pretty boy."
Yeah.
And then Jarhead says, "I'm sorry, kid, I'm sorry," or something.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Well, what about him? Do you know him?" And he holds out what I imagine is $100 bill.
Yeah.
And Jarhead just quietly takes it and sort of lets him in. Also, you know, before issuing a vague threat. But I thought a great gag that Jarhead could do there would be...
sorry, not to interrupt, but Here I am interrupting you. But don't gloss over the fact that's where we hear the immortal line, "Don't bro me if you don't know me."
That's
as
right.
He takes the money.
And that's a good decision. And, you know, I'm glad to see the film dining out on that week after week. But just as an alternative, just as maybe just an option, what I would love to see is, hey, what about this guy? Do you know him? And he holds out a $100 bill. And then Jarhead says... "Why, yes, I do. That's Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the United States of America," and just rattles
Famous
off
for flying his kite in a lightning storm with a key on it, and giving us all the power we enjoy today.
Exactly.
In fact, I would wager to bet electronic music couldn't even exist without this man. Do you know him?
You are in the world of the joke. So just 5 to 10 minutes of solid Benjamin Franklin facts.
Good shit.
But alas, an option, once again, not taken by Maximum Joseph, nor, what's his name? Johnny Weston is the actor who plays Jarhead.
Not this week, Guy, but you've got to just live in hope that next week they're going to take that tasty bait and delve into that lovely little riff that you've set up for them.
The possibility that they will is what will drag me back.
Yeah. Hard out, bro. Now, I want to put a theory that I've developed to you. A little bit of a curly one. Is it possible that we watch Squirrell convert to Judaism through the events depicted in the movie? Here's my supporting evidence for this. And by my own admission, it's rather scant, but it's an idea that stuck in my head. When he's at the call centre where they first go to work for Gold Star Realty Solutions, dick full of diamonds, mouth full of concrete, he has a call sheet and he's working his way down the customers, and he picks up the phone and says, "Hello, I'm looking for a Mr. Stein," and then waits half a beat and says, "Mr. Steen," like he's been corrected. And I reckon what's happened there is, with his Gentile eyes, he's seen the last name as Stein rather than the correct Steen, which suggests to me it's probably a Jewish guy that he's ringing. And then he engages in a very meaningful and life-changing conversation, which we cut away from way too early, as a part of that attempted sale of the services of Gold Star Realty Solutions, dick full of diamonds, mouth full of concrete. So there we have Squirrell, plucky young Squirrell, who went to university. We found out from a Q&A session with Zac Efron around the production and release and publicity of the film.
You've got to do research.
And you gotta do the background before you go into a film like this. And Squirrell has he's been converted, because then we see at the funeral there's a lot of yarmulkes going down, and I even think that the rabbi, I think it's called a rabbi, if they're like kind of...
Do you remember
their
very early on in
funeral,
this season
he's speaking
of the
in
podcast,
Hebrew.
You speculated that was Eric Warheim?
Yeah. He looks a little bit like him. When you first see him for a second, you're like, hey, it's not him though, which is disappointing, because that would be an amazing cameo for him, eh?
Oh,
so good.
Yeah, it'd be a huge get for Eric Warheim. I'm sure he's been trying to angle in on a Zac Efron vehicle for years. Look, I mean, it never occurred to me that that he, what's the word you
Converted.
use? Converted to
Through the film.
Judaism throughout the film. I'd sort of always taken it as read that maybe he was, had been raised Jewish.
See, that's what I thought too. But then, if that was the case, when he saw that name on the call list, don't you think he would immediately go to Steen? He would go to the sort of correct pronunciation of how that name is spelt. I'm looking for a Mr. Steen.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I mean,
It's loose, Guy. I'll admit, it's loose.
anything's possible, Tim. I thought my read, and this is what's so great about you discover these new things when you watch it apart. I thought that I read that bit of acting, script writing, directing, performance as sort of Maximum Joseph trying to communicate to us, the paying public, the difficulty and adjustment period of these boys learning the ropes of a new office job. So sort of us going on the journey with them as they figure out how exactly to swindle hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash from these poor cash-strapped folks whose homes are in foreclosure. So
these boys, they just become another cog in the corporate machine, don't they?
So
those fat cat fuckwits who are responsible for the '08 crash, stealing everyone's pensions.
Yeah, absolutely. So less a religious rebirth and more a sort of a seam into the seedy underbelly of corporate America.
An indoctrination into the church of the almighty dollar, you might say. Although I don't see why it can't be both, Maximum Joseph's magnum opus is famous for being able to translate a lot of ideas through at the same time.
A lot of ideas.
A lot of layers there. A lot of layers, Guy Montgomery. You got to peel them back week by week. You got to watch it 52 times. This is essential, and you got to take a year doing it. You don't smash that out in a month.
No.
You got to take your time and unpeel this onion of a film.
Yeah.
And it will reveal its truths to you over time. For example, when Paige Harrell, the CEO, founder, and managing director of Gold Star Realty Solutions, Dick Full of Diamonds, Mouthful of Concrete, it says all that computerized, digitized, on-paper bullshit is for pussies. Like, what? I still don't get it. What's he talking about? Because if something's digitized and computerized, how is it also on paper?
Tim, what do you hook a computer up to?
The internet?
Power. A printer.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah, okay.
You see what's happened here?
Is that it?
That's it.
That's it, Guy?
That's it.
Okay.
You get it?
That's enough.
Yeah, it's barely enough. I've done something.
Uh-oh.
Now,
Guy's done something, everybody. Look out. What have you done?
Well, the name of the cafe where Somali works in the real world is it's a little known Java juice location called Romancing the Bean, located in Burbank, California. And I thought to myself, I wonder if that's still open for a start. So I've researched Romancing the Bean, Burbank, California. And I found that not only is it open, but it's also, unsurprisingly, open to being reviewed by members of the public. And so I've dug up just a few punters' opinions on Romancing the Bean in Burbank, California. And whether or not you imagine that it's staffed by genuine baristas and waitstaff, or Somali, the character from We Are Your Friends, is still employed there in spite of the fact that she keeps distributing free pie, is entirely up to you. But I put it to you, Tim, that the first review available on TripAdvisor would suggest not only is Somali still working there, but she's wound up in a bit of financial strife.
Oh boy, let's hear it. Let's dig into it.
Review the first from March 14th, 2017 via mobile. Subject heading, credit card hacked.
No.
I can say with certainty that an employee from this cafe stole my credit card number. I had only used it at that place. There was no paper receipt, and I still had my credit card when I informed my bank of $1,100 worth of charges a few hours after being there. Also, the charges were made within a 5-block radius of the cafe. My caution? Only use cash. Otherwise,
Wait, maybe don't go. What
No,
an optimistic reviewer to be like, this place rules.
do you want to
but
hear?
Don't use a cat.
Do you want to
Sorry.
hear the
You go on.
optimistic part? Here's the final line of the review. So after warning of having the credit card hacked, otherwise, I liked coffee and pastry.
What a well-rounded reviewer, eh?
Yeah.
Something bad happened to you, but that doesn't have to colour the entirety of the review.
No.
It's a mixed bag.
It's- yeah,
I got ripped off to the tune of $1,100 but you know what? It wasn't bad coffee.
Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater here.
Exactly.
That Danish was
That's great.
a delight. This review, I think, trumped only by one other review on the TripAdvisor page for Romancing the Bean, Burbank, California. This review was logged on the 2nd of October, 2015. The heading is, "It is very inviting and should go in." This has been given 3 out of a possible 5 circles. The review as follows. Have never gone in. Walked by many times, always thinking it looks inviting and I should go in and try the experience. And so the review ends.
Do you know we would be more qualified to review Romancing the Bean than that person at this point? We've seen more of it.
I think that is the best review.
3
ever
stars
had.
is crippling, though. You know how TripAdvisor works. If it's not a 5, it's bad.
Oh, look.
Anything less than a 5 is bad. A 3, you may as well just shut up shop.
Undoubtedly. But to walk past a cafe, I would say upwards of 5 times, enough to form an opinion. And then instead of thinking, I'll go in there and check it out, thinking, I'm going to communicate my peripheral experience with this cafe to the people of TripAdvisor and log a 3-star review based on
Yeah.
nothing
Nothing at all.
is incredible.
No experience. That's not really what the app's there for. It's not really what the concept of a review is there for, is it? A
No.
review is either your initial experience of something firsthand or your 44th watch of something firsthand. But either way, you got to do the thing, I think. That's always been my perception of it anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, suffice it
Hey,
to say, Romancing the
Yeah.
Bean, in spite of these 2 bits of feedback, is actually, a pretty well regarded. It's got a 4 out of 5 on TripAdvisor.
Pretty good, Guy Montgomery. That's 80%. That's a B+ in most establishments.
Yeah. Over here on Zomato, though, our friend Lola Juliet had a pretty bad experience back in 2012.
What happened to Lola?
Surprising, not great. Not knowing what to order, I went with something safe. A tuna sandwich on ciabatta bread. I was surprised how cold and hard the bread was. The sandwich was not good. Very disappointing. It goes on. But, I mean, who are these fucking maniacs?
That was a good dramatic read of Lola's review, by the way, Guy. I like that. I like the
what I
decisions you made. It was good. You sauce it up a bit.
It's so nice to know that you can visit the cafe, where Zaccoli and Somali begin to rebuild the pieces of what is a relationship I don't think will go the distance. I mean, look, they're both attractive, but let's be honest, Tim. The chemistry and opportunity for these 2 to get to know one another through the film is middling at best.
If anyone lives in who listens to our podcast lives in or around Burbank, California, or you simply have an opportunity in the not too distant future to visit Romancing the Bean, please go in there, grab a cup of joe, take a photo in there so we know you've been there, chuck it on Twitter, chuck it on Instagram, chuck on that hashtag, pay the boys.
Absolutely.
That's IZ.
It's on
Pay the BOIZ.
3413 West Magnolia Boulevard.
Hopefully we're in town at some point in the not too distant guy and we can go there ourselves. It'd be a real treat.
That would be.
Our mate has tracked down where the sushi restaurant is, where the boys are in the valley. We're gonna go there.
That I would like to do.
Now, I would like to say that it took 40... Yeah,
you go. I was going to say, one thing that Americans do is they like to say, and it happens in this movie with description of sushi. Everything's the best, isn't it?
Everything's the best. It's the best one of these you've ever had. Your life will change if you have this. Or it's the worst, and it'll ruin your life.
It's impossible.
But these reviews that you found are pretty well-rounded, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, I suppose so. Tim, also,
Someone
before
went
you,
so far
before
as
you
to
launch into
give me a
describing your
credit card
44th screening of We Are Your Friends, I just remembered I got to
Look, what I
flag it
wanted
with you.
to-
I have a
What I
run
want to...
of...
What?
I'm just telling you that I have a run of sort of 4 or 5 interviews with regional Australian radio stations kicking off in T-minus 6 minutes. So we've got an action-packed final 6 this week.
Yeah, if Guy rolls off, that's fine. That's going to happen, and it's unfortunately probably going to cut the episode a little bit shorter than usual. But you know what? Fucking chuck a short one in there. You know, give the people what they want. I mean, a compacted, powerful little episode.
And by all means, Tim, you could stay on and whip out a tight 10, 15-minute set.
Talk the rest of the episode out about poos.
Yeah, or you could genuinely
steps.
Perform 10 to 15 minutes of stand-up comedy.
I don't think I'll be doing that. I'll probably wrap up when you do. Hey, what I do want to say, though, is it has no shit, hand on heart, taken me 44 glorious episodes or watches of this film to understand the words that are coming out of the mouth of James Reed from The Feelers when he talks to Somali when Zaccoli the Crying DJ first wakes up there after the big party. You know how she says, I can literally smell the whiskey coming out of your skin?
Yeah.
And he says something to her very quietly.
What does he say, Tim?
Have you ever heard it before? Because I've always struggled to hear it.
I will. Once I hear you say it, I'll know whether or not I've noticed it, heard it, or had the same problem as you.
The line is, you used to smell like fermented liquor too.
Oh.
It no shit is the first time I've figured out what the line is. It took me this long.
That is such a huge piece of exposition.
It's a massive get. It's a massive get that the boom operator has failed to bank on.
Because it's Maximum Joseph's job to say, can we get that I need a clean read on Wes Bentley's line. But
that's true.
I noticed this week that in the club, when Zaccoli meets Somali and unsuccessfully tries to pick her up, she's drinking what appears to be either a rosé, a vodka cranberry, or potentially another club soda with cranberry.
Yeah. I think this is her thing, man. She's like a recovering alcoholic, perhaps.
That is so huge, and arguably one of the meatiest details or nuances offered to a character in the film, and on account of her being a woman, just entirely ignored.
Why are you gendering this? Why is it because she's a woman?
It's just the film is uninterested in the plight of Somali, the sole representation of the fear of sex.
True. That's true. We know a staggering detail about these fuckboys, although they do miss out big gaps like their parental situations, although they hint at them.
Yeah, that's funny. Right. Richard was my dad's name. That's neither funny nor interesting, Zaccoli.
Cool. We're going to hear more about that? No? Okay. All right. Fair enough. It's your decision. Your dad, your choice.
Shit, man. I got to say, late in the piece, it's going to certainly make for at least, aside from hoping that they rip into this hot Ben Franklin gear next week, it's going to provide some sort of grounding or interesting through line to look for in the film.
It's a game changer. True enough. It's a game changer. I also just want to say something that I noticed, and actually, you know what? This is going to be my shining light, because I just realized we might have 30 seconds to get all of your things. So actually, let's get yours. Do you have a shining light this week, Guy Montgomery?
As always, Tim, I do.
Go.
My shining light this week, in spite of criticising the chemistry between Zaccoli and Somali, when they are ordering room service after maybe or maybe not having sexual intercourse the night before...
you're conceding a maybe. I like that.
Somali says, I want a cheeseburger. And immediately afterwards, and very quietly, parroting and whispering the line back to her, Zaccoli says, you want a cheeseburger? And
Whoa, I've never heard that.
No. Mate, I mean, I'm noticing that there's a few whispered lines here. Breadcrumbs, cast aside by the film, maybe leading us a trail leading to some alternative take.
Oh, I like that. Exciting. Setting it up for next time. I'll give you my shining light, and that is the fact that when Zaccoli the Crying DJ is cleaning the pool, it is absolutely fucking filthy. I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but when he receives that call from James Reed from the Feelers asking if he's got anything on in the weekend so he can DJ his party, or potentially bury a dead body with him, doesn't really say in the phone call that we see. But I like that they went to the trouble of actually having a grubby as hell pool, because it's like, when it's the equivalent of when you walk into a bar and a bartender's just polishing a glass that's already clean. That's probably a bad example because you can't really over-polish a glass in a bar. But it's just when someone's performing an action on film that they don't need to be doing. If they're vacuuming something that's already been vacuumed, if they're ironing a shirt that's perfectly crisp.
I know exactly.
They went to the trouble of mucking up that pool.
Or breaking into someone else's property to pick up the scene.
Love that. Great offer. And, good idea, Greg, the first AD. I like that.
Yeah, way to save us some money, Greg. Not everyone has a clean pool all the time.
Yeah.
That's just the way life goes. Tim, I'm going to keep talking to you. What's going to happen is my phone will ring in the midst of a conversation.
Yeah.
So,
but before it does, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Getting sentimental with James Reed from the Feelers. Here's an interesting piece of trivia for you, Tim. James Reed from the Feelers, my high school alumni.
No way. Did you know that before? This is the first time I'm hearing this information.
I did not know that before.
Shit.
I was on tour. I was talking with some of the other comics about respective alumni, and I can't remember, someone was saying something about their school, and then I thought, I'll see if there's anyone from my school. Sam Neill?
Blow me down with a feather. Are you for real?
I am. But then also, more excitingly, and arguably relevant to this podcast, James Reed from the Feelers.
That is tasty. What a great find.
Huge.
How does it make you feel to have shared a academic environment with the great man himself?
I got to say, I'm pretty disappointed that I didn't take to the music school in the same way James Reed did.
Fertile ground.
Yeah, I mean, some of the songs those boys put out. I've played Fish and Felisa for you before. In fact, I remember exactly when and where I did it. I was lying on a bed in Roma, Italia. You were upset with me because you thought we might not have the ability to clear the rights and get into copyright trouble. I think we were being sponsored by Audible at the time.
Sounds like me, sounds like you.
No, I mean, I don't know. I've come to terms with it now. So I'm neither excited nor disappointed.
And so look, let's delve into that MacBook Pro box because this week,
can I tell you what's in there? Oh, you go.
Yeah. No, you go.
It's a school report.
Yes.
It's a school report from year 11. When you are a boy of 15, roughly. It's a social studies report from Mr. Spronkin. And Mr. Spronkin says, James Reed shows great potential in class, but is too easily distracted.
Needs to apply himself, does our James Reed. Frequently talking to class members, shows a lot of potential. And must try harder.
What James Reed is trying to do is, this is a lesson shared and learned from Mr. Spronkin to James Reed from the Feelers. James Reed is trying to tell Zaccoli he sees potential. He sees the opportunity for great things in Zaccoli.
Yeah.
However, on account of his easily distracted nature and, ruffian friends, he doesn't want to see him piss that potential away.
Who would?
It's a cautionary tale. How do you feel about that?
All of that from one school report. I'm just wondering if anyone out there received a school report that didn't have the words not living up to their potential.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just got it so frequently that I've kind of assumed everyone got it all the time.
Yeah. I tell you who definitely got a report that didn't say that, Tim.
Who?
Nerds.
Yeah, fucking Nerds.
What are those?
Because I guess if you're getting like 100%, if you're getting A pluses or what have you, whatever the equivalent is, you probably don't need to apply yourself anymore, do you?
No, those reports probably read, Joseph Moore is a great student, but we're worried about his social skills on the playground.
We're also worried about the fact that he walks out of class at the halfway point every single period.
And then comes in the next day with a speculative essay on how the class played out. And we say, Joseph, if you stuck around for the rest of the class, you'd know.
But he was too busy skiving off to the music department to go join James Reed from the Feelers to jam out some stuff on a little synthy keyboard.
Oh, I like that. Hey, Tim,
The
also,
original Walkout Boys.
can I tell you this?
Mm?
Watch 44, Romancing the Bean on
Yeah.
Google. The review that it's got via Google or Google Maps, 4.4.
Whoo! Pretty good. It syncs up. It syncs up, ladies and gentlemen. That's how the universe works. It's all about synchronicities. It's electricity, which also ties up with Benjamin Franklin. The whole thing is a closed loop, isn't it, Guy?
Oh, man. Time is a closed loop.
Yeah, fucking A. Oh, boy. Hey, well, while we've got this, it feels like stolen time from your interviews running late. Should we delve into maybe what's happened in that bathroom this week, my buddy?
I would love that very much. Oh, I've received a text message.
Oh, okay,
I've
let's
missed a
check
call.
that.
I got to go.
Oh, that's bad. I'll delve into that, Guy. It's been a pleasure, and I'm sorry that you missed your first interview.
Pas de
we'll
problem, my friend. I'll see you soon.
Catch you in the friend zone, friend.
Bye.
So, look, what's happened in the bathroom, everybody, is Johnny Depp's walked in there, and he's found someone who has been frequenting Romancing the Bean far too often, and they're not counteracting that with enough fibre in their diet. So, I'm sorry. Like, I don't hopefully need to paint a vivid enough picture for most of you, because you'll know what's up. It is a jolly nightmare in there. It is, I would describe it as explosive. I would describe it as caked. And I would describe it as a good spread, like a wide spray, a big old angle. Obtuse, not acute, if you know your angles. Anyway, it's terrible, and it's the result of a lot of hot milk and caffeine upsetting someone's tumbly. And they possibly need to research whether they're lactose intolerant or not, because, I mean, this is not a bowel movement that is in any way, shape, or form usual or particularly healthy or good for the individual experiencing it. So I'm going to leave you with that. It looks like I have fallen into the trap of using this extra time to talk about poos, just like Guy did. Try as I might to avoid it, but what a wonderful episode. It's been full of curiosities and, as I said before, synchronicities, things that, just coincidences, really. If you believe in that. Maybe everything happens for a reason. Don't know. If you go to facebook.com/TWIOAT. No, it's not. No, fuck, what is it, actually? Oh, my goodness. It's actually facebook.com/worst idea of all time. I've put you wrong. There's a post in there because we're soliciting for which charity we should be giving all of our June money to. We've decided to give all our June money to someone. You guys support us on Patreon, which, again, I just cannot express my gratitude enough to the people who give on there, big or small. And Maureen Johnson was first, just hot out the gate, opened up her wallet and gave us a tremendous amount of money, and then got in touch with us recently to say, boys, my work here is done on such a generous donation. And we were like, absolutely. And she said, I'm going to put the money that I was putting to here towards a good charity in this America of Trump that we're all experiencing. And we thought, you know what a jolly good idea. We're going to pick a non-politicized charity and throw our money there as well. So this is all thanks to Maureen. And everyone should follow her, by the way, on Twitter. She's very good. So look, all that to say, we're accepting ideas. A lot of good ones are in there so far. We'd love to hear what you think. We're thinking either like American, because a lot of our listeners and our contributors are American, or a global charity would be good. And one where the money's actually, going to do something for them, going to be helpful. So that'd be great. Probably my favourite one in terms of comedy so far is someone's recommended an animal shelter because, through our watches, we're killing a squirrel each and every week, which is fair enough. So get on there, get on the Facebook, and the Patreon is patreon.com/TWIOAT. Hey, catch you in the friend zone, everyone. See you real soon. Bye-bye.
Ow! This movie's still fine. There's a collie, pasta.
One of them dies, that goes Squirrell. One of them's a hottie, his name is Jay. One of them looks like Johnny Depp, and his name is Johnny Depp.
Classic Maximum Joseph.
You forget that films are supposed to have a point.
Thanks for listening to this podcast. If you're thirsty for another, why not try Boners of the Heart?
Mads is pointing to us each. What do you say?
You saying we're assholes?
Fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but we're attractive assholes. Yeah, I get it.
I
We're
feel like
lovely.
the
We're
moment-
lovely little bleached, attractive assholes.
Sitting in this chair and I feel, I don't have a bleached asshole.
I don't think I'd bleach my
Do you have a
asshole
bleached
either.
asshole?
I don't.
I don't think I've got a very nice asshole, to be honest.
I don't really look at my
I've
own
never
asshole a
received
lot.
feedback on it.
Yeah, I don't think receiving feedback on your asshole is the.
But also, I'm just nervous because there's been like so much damage done to that area. I'm like, what if it is weird and I just don't know? And I'm walking around with this weird asshole and no one's got the courage to tell me.